did. I know I said alcohol and social media don't mix, and it don't for the most part. But when you got a message and a point, run with it. So let's get it out. Did you know 6 out of the 10 richest men in the world take hold to a nation state? Now, let's understand the world dynamics. Countries form naturally, right? Like it's on some territorial shit. It's like ants in your yard. Picture ants in your yard. They roam freely throughout your yard and they get into little wars that you never see and they take over territory. But what about when something is gifted, some of the motherfuckers? Like I'm talking about like imagine some strong ass ants and instead of them getting a war with another ant pal, you as a human just take a shovel, excavate all them damn ants and throw them into your neighbor's yard or throw them in the trash and you put a new ant pile there to take over. That's what the fuck Israel is. And let's talk about it real quick because I think it's 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 a shame and a tragedy how this is the biggest case of identity theft in the history of mankind, bro. Like, I am Jewish. Let's get that out the way real quick. They'll never, like, I think the last shit I did, because I've been trying to find out what the hell did I get my YouTube strike at? They can't deny me being Jewish. They can't do that. I could deny them. We could do a DNA test. We can go ancestry.com, but they don't want to deny me being Jewish. So they'll just say, well, and they can't even call me anti-Semitic because they'll never call a real Jewish person anti-Semitic, and I'm Jewish. So what are we talking about? We talk about some identity thieves. I just did a short. I hope y'all check out this short, and you probably not gonna be able to check it out because they're gonna blackball the hell out this short. Because I used the clip, and I'm itching like a bitch. These mosquitoes going hell. I'm about to go inside, but it's a good setup to be outside and enjoy this fresh weather. Due to my Father, my God, my Lord, my Savior, who created me, a black Jew, a real Jew, a original Jew. But I gotta say black Jew almost because the way this history has been set up and put to you guys through the academia. Let's look at academia. I was against them taking away from American schools and they never invest no money into the Department of Education. But then we got to understand, and they understand, the people that take from the Department of Education know Department of Education been a joke for a long time because they've been miseducating us. Shout out to Lauryn Hill, like the miseducation law. We done had a miseducation our whole life of people telling us what history was. You never questioned one time, white or black. You never question why I gotta learn about Anne Frank. Why is she so important? Why is she more important than Susan B. Anthony? Why is she more important than Sojourner Truth or Harriet Tubman? Why I gotta learn about Anne Frank? What the fuck does a girl in the basement who didn't save her family, she ain't come down with no knives, no guns, save her family, she just stayed in the attic? What the fuck? Like, how does that help my life? But they make sure you learn about the shit while simultaneously funding both sides. Now, historically, you can almost say, I heard a white Ku Klux man wizard say this shit, Grand Wizard say this before. He said, Jews put on this earth to antagonize the white man. I thought it was very comical and funny. I try to look at it from like a subjective standpoint, look at it like an outsider looking in. But then in reality, they're not here to terrorize or aggravate the white man. They here to manipulate fucking late. And when I say Jews, they're not Jews. I just gotta say it as in context so you can get the dynamic of the demographic I'm talking about. I'm talking about these imposters. They're the devil's children. From now on, you will not hear me. From now on, this is gonna be my declaration that you will never hear me say Jew no more. Because if I'm speaking of a Jew, I'm speaking of a person that look like me. If they don't look like me, they not Jewish. That's the first thing. I'm talking about the devil's children. I'm talking about the people that see a Christian, white, black, whatever, and they do like that. And they spit right in their face. They beat them up. And the news over here in America and around the world who ran by them. Bro, ask yourself this, bro. Think about this shit, bro. Imagine Rhode Island, right? Rhode Island is in America. That's a state, actually. The smallest state, smaller than it's smaller than LA County, probably smaller than Duval County in Florida. It's very small. Imagine the top 6 richest people in America being from Rhode Island. You would say something don't sit right with that shit. It's almost like we're not here to talk about it, but we might well bring it up a little bit. Corporations in Delaware. Why the fuck Delaware got so many corporations? Why the fuck Hartford, Connecticut got so many insurance companies? This is for you guys to do your own research and due diligence on that part. But at some point, your antennas got to stick up and something got to be suspicious. Like, what kind of fraud and crookedness is going on? How in the fuck do this man-made country that never existed, now these people have existed, but are they the true Jews? Fuck nah, hell nah. They own Talmud to tell you they ain't the true Jews, but they're gonna corrupt it and whitewash it like everything else in the world. You know, when you speaking to Zionists, and I'm gonna tease this. I'm not even gonna go down this path. But if we're gonna speak of Zionism, let's talk about Jamaicans. Jamaicans love to talk about Mount Zion. That's where the whole word Zion is come from anyway. Mount Zion. We'll leave that. That's the teaser. We just leave that right there. The bottom line is, these are the devil's children. God warned you in the Bible that this devil has almost not equal power, but let's just say I'm God, right? Because the easy question is, if you God, why don't you just kill the devil and kill all his offspring and make it a, mind you, that shit wouldn't be fun. It's like if you ever raised the ant colony and shit, or you just trying to like, as a human being, you bored, you make some shit fight. I heard a person saying, somebody comments that's like, we the creators of war. When you want to get rid of the ant pile, the most effective way to get rid of an ant pile, you dump another ant pile on it. You don't spray it with no chemicals. You just let the motherfuckers war it out. And it's kind of entertaining. Am I saying I got an evil Lord, evil God? No, I don't. But I got everything that's inside of me is inside of my God. I'm just a piece of him. I'm a chip off the block. I'm not God. I'm not his replica. But to be Christian is to be Christ-like. So I will never freaking say that I don't have the intangibles that my Lord has. And if my Lord don't want to have a boring life, if my Lord has this supernatural ability and he's the only person that has that, guess what? He's bored. He's been hanging around for billions of years. I need some excitement. I need to see who could prevail under these circumstances and situations. You could call it evil, you call it what you want. So that's what, henceforth, what the devil comes into play. I gave a man almost equal ability as me, but he can never beat me. There's only one God. He can never have my ability, but I gave him a platform where I say, you know what? I want to see who really love me. It's like some player type shit. Like, you can beat your old lady up and whoop her ass and make her scared of you, or you can tell her, go out in the world and live your life and come back home and be faithful. You're giving her what you call choice. And when you give her that choice, there's a chance that a man can persuade her. Looks better than you, game better than you, whatever she perceive it to be. She can be persuaded. That's what God did. He said, you know what? Because let's just say the devil, let's just say God wasn't that smart. He's definitely that smart. The devil say, man, listen, man, you keep dominating me, but if you so great, why don't you give it choice? Why don't you give me a shot at every being that you create? So God said, okay, I'll give you a shot at every being that I create. The devil was able to come up, because I gotta keep my foot on their neck. The devil came up with Israel. I ain't talking about biblical Israel. I'm talking about modern day Israel. All the Polish, Ukrainians. You wonder why we send, nobody never asked the question, why do we send so much money to Ukraine? That's Israel, baby. That's Israel. Motherfucker talk this, they hit you up with this, be scared of Russia, this Cold War, modern Russia. Bitch, shout out to Zangief. Zangief is a character off of Street Fighter. That was my favorite Street Fighter. I'll fight you with Zangief all day. My second favorite fighter to fight with was Saget in Thailand or Taiwan. And then my third favorite fighter, if it wasn't Blanca, it was gonna be who I liked it. I liked it Blanca. Everybody liked the Ryu and Ken. But I liked the Blanca and I liked the I ain't gonna say Gal. Anyway, bottom line is Zangief. Oh, the boxer from Vegas, whatever his name was. Outside of that, though, Bruh, that's what this world is, bruh. This world is ran by the devil's children. And it don't necessarily got to be of their bloodline. They recruit like-minded people. It's just like the Bloods and the Crips. The original Bloods and the Crips is from California, right? This is recent history we can all document. The original Bloods and Crips is from California, but everybody else is a copycat. Monkey see, monkey do. They got their own sectors of Bloods and Crips, but the original Bloods and Crips, in their own head, they allow it, but in their own head, they say, man, that bitch off-brand like a bitch. That ain't no real blood. Ain't no real Crip. You ain't finna come to no motherfucking California talk about some Kansas City Crip shit. Nigga, R.P. Matt Dre. You not finna be politicking, thinking you finna go national on some blood and Crip shit if you ain't from California. You just some, like, off-brand type shit. And that's what a lot of folks is. They say, well, I can't be from Israel, I can't be Zionist, but I can rep this shit and try to get favorable benefits. So you got the Mike Huckabees, the Ted Cruzes, the Chuck Schumers, the Marco Rubios, all the fake Zion. Bitch, you don't got no claim to their throne. They don't got no claim to their throne. They misled. But if they worshiping the devil and the devil is giving blessings, and the devil do got the capability of giving blessings, I want you motherfuckers to understand this shit. I know it's gonna confuse a lot of folks. Devil got the capability. Yeah, the devil got the capability of blessing folks. God gave the devil massive strength. He made the devil in his own likeness. Only thing is the devil is not him. See, my dad used to tell me this thing when I was a jit. My dad used to say, man, son, you're a chip off the block, but I'm the block. I used to hate that shit. And then the older I get, whether it be prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, cytokinesis, and the more this shit reciprocate and goes over and over and over and over, the more I think probably look like him, presume his image. And I'm like, fuck. But I am myself. I am my own person. But that's the same way with this spiritual warfare. As time replicates itself, you become more like your father. And I'm not talking about your physical father. I'm talking about your father. Even though your natural biological father you become more like, and mother as well, you still become more in tune with your spirituality. Bro, these kids is the children of the devil. That's why they got so much power. That's why they got so much intellect. You'll be a fool to say the devil is stupid. The devil is smart. The devil is very intelligent. The devil is smarter than any human being to ever walk this earth. That's a fact. But that doesn't mean that you can't outsmart the devil. That doesn't mean that if you was... See, the thing about it is like this. It's very simple, bro. It's very simple. Picture walking through the shadows of the valley of death like they talk about, right? But in the shadow of the valley of death, there's only a left and a right. There's no middle. Let's just say you getting punched from the right and you getting punched from the left. And God is on the left and God is like, man, pick a side, pick a side. And the devil on the right, he's saying, pick a side, pick a side. If you try to walk this battle in the middle, they both gonna punch you out. And then you're gonna commit suicide or you're gonna take yourself out because this is too deep, too heavy for you. But if you was able to pick a side, well, be it the devil, let's just say you chose the devil's side. Now you got stability and comfort and safety. Because the devil is showing you, man, I'm gonna shield you. I'm gonna show you how powerful I am. And you get to live this awesome fucking life. It's an awesome life. But if you were to choose God's side, you also can have an awesome life. So the next person gonna ask me, well, what's the difference? The difference is, and it's the first time I've ever said this, and this is God edifying my tongue to say this. If you choose God, you can have life forever. If you choose the devil, you can have a great life in this particular life. That's the catch. And if that ain't the catch, then I gotta ask God while I'm on live, strike me dead. Just make sure my OG can pick up my jet. What the fuck we living for? Lord, I'm asking my father. I need to know that there's a reward by taking your side, because I understand taking the devil's side, I can have a great life in everybody's face. I could be Hollywood, I could be Nollywood, I could be Bollywood. I could be all this shit. I could be Sergey Brin. I could be Larry Page. Let me finish my point that I was gonna make before this. 6 out of 10 of the richest men in the world claim Israel a country, a made-up country made up in the 1940s. Donald Trump is 2 years older than Israel, by the way. When they was talking shit about Trump, they was talking about Trump wouldn't understand. Trump was born before Israel. If Trump wanted to talk shit, he could be like, hey, listen, when I came to the earth, it was no such thing as Israel. That shit only existed like a fairy tale. That's like Wakanda or some shit. Imagine a motherfucker make a Wakanda today. And then 100 years from now, we talk about how great Wakanda is. But bitch, that was an ideology. Motherfucker actually made it come true. Trump existed before that. Before there was Israel. The bottom line is, there's a devil he's working, and he say, I got all of, God is almost conceited. God done say, you know what? I could take all the power on earth, but bitch, I gotta live for the next trillion, zillion years. I need entertainment. You know what? Fuck it. You can have the earth. Now, this is the catch. This is the tricky part to this shit, too. Because a lot of pastors used to preach this, but this is the tricky part. Motherfucker tell you, man, your reward is in the afterlife. That sounds great. That sounds awesome. Okay, my reward is in the afterlife. Okay, cool. But the reality is, when I went to church when I was 19 years old, I'll never forget, 2005, I'm going to church. And I've been working all night at Walmart. This is when Walmart used to be open all night. And I'm sleepy as fuck, but I just got to get to church. It's a Saturday night. I work from Saturday night all the way to Sunday morning. I don't got time to change my clothes. I just want to get to church. At this point, church was a drug to me. On my way to church, we coming through Sawgrass in South Florida, Sunrise, Florida. We coming through Sawgrass, and they got like a golf course or whatever we passed, somewhere in Plantation. That's sad that shit named Plantation, but that's a city in Broward County. And I see these white guys playing golf on a Sunday morning. Here I am headed to church to ask God for his blessings and his savior and make me a better life and keep me safe. And these, let me watch my tongue, folks is on a golf course carefree. Back then, Tiger Woods was still balling. And I'm looking at it like, these guys, you think they give a, you think they say, man, listen, I'm not gonna catch my tea time because I gotta go to church. If I don't catch this, if I miss this tea time, that's cool because my Lord gonna bless me with more tea. They like, fuck church. I'm gonna catch this tea time. And I remember getting to church, I had so many questions that morning. But I couldn't see, it's not like it was a Kingdom Hall where you get to ask questions. It's a Pentecostal church. Pentecostal, Baptist, whatever you want to call it, Episcopal, Methodist, whatever black people like to do. You can't ask no questions in the middle of a church sermon or whatever you want to call it. It's not an educational, it's more of an indoctrination. This ain't for you to ask no questions and question. Not that's what Bible study for, when there ain't nobody here to witness this. When I'm dropping this message in this game, nigga, you better not ask me no question that make me look like a fool. Because the question I wanted to ask was a pastor. I called the city bus here. I know we got a church van that come pick everybody up because I used to catch the church van. But Y'all wasn't gonna come way like the Sawgrass to pick me up this morning because I just got off of work. What I want to know is why these white folks are sitting out there rich as hell without a worry about whether they go to heaven or hell. And they just out there playing golf without being in somebody's church, thanking God for the blessing that he allowed them to have on this earth. Maybe the proper answer would have been, son, they going to hell. They don't get no afterlife. This is their heaven right here on this earth. But then the next question comes into line. Well, if heaven's on this earth, shouldn't I enjoy this thing right now? Shouldn't I enjoy it right now? Mind you, I'm walking by faith. Trying not to walk by sight, Lord, because this sight is very ugly. It's a very ugly path I see. I grew up with crackheads and prostitutes and punks and sissies and thugs and gangsters and killers and crooked polices and racist white people. I'm trying not to look. I'm just trying to let faith guide me. Oh, you two, you want to flag that? Because I know this is the devil's word. That's the ultimate what I'm simply saying. This is the devil's prophecy. I see it now, bruh. I've been seeing it, but I'm ready to call it out. Because when YouTube sized me up, I couldn't figure it out. And I don't want to say things I shouldn't be saying. Let's just give a hypothetical. What if I was to speak Hebrew for 10 minutes straight right now? What if I was to show you Hebrew text and I was to read in Hebrew for 10 minutes straight? Would I be put on a terrorist list for understanding the language of Hebrew and knowing how to write Hebrew? It's a question, hypothetical. When I showed the picture of my father a couple videos ago and they had Hebrew text, I've been getting shadow banned like a mug. I guess we not supposed to know Hebrew when we invented the text. Anyway, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Love, man. God is good. My God is good. My Father is good. My Father gonna make sure you suffer. Enjoy this life. Enjoy your imperialism. Enjoy your fake indoctrination. Enjoy your self-righteousness of feeling that you rule the world. Because you only rule right now. You're not a true believer. You don't believe in no afterlife. You don't believe in no reincarnation. You don't believe in nothing other than ruling the current earth. And I ain't mad at that because I believe in both. But I definitely have more faith that there is a second coming. But the reality of it is, I think what made me dangerous is I believe we should be ruling in this current life as well. And that's what y'all not used to. You want to paint faith to a black person to say, don't worry about being poor for the rest of your life. You got to act like, no, I need to be a king on this earth and after this earth. That part, jit. Lord. I'm probably going to stay off it for a while and just post shorts. I'm going to stay off these live streams. But this is like, when people say the realest I ever wrote, these words of edification brought to the by the highest, that part.